let's talk about prop store auction. Last night it was a very late night for me. 1 o'clock. I'm usually in bed at 9:30.
You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin.
Fucking man, shut up. What's having a late night, Ozzy?
What?
You talking about having a late night all day?
Jesus Christ, I'd say what have you been eating, but I saw what you had for your dinner.
I had a small Nando's.
Insert picture here.
Do you know what?
Deja vu.
That's the fucking problem with Nando's. You go there and you never get enough food, do you? So let's talk prop store auction. What Star Wars stuff was at the auction?
Well, to start with, there was a lot more drawings, and there was some nice Macquarie stuff. I mean, like first-hand stuff.
Do you think?
Not like prints or anything like that.
I don't. They just seem like, to me, they just seem like really expensive sketches.
There was a picture there that was supposed to have inspired Lucas to do Star Wars. How true that is, I don't know.
Which one was that?
It was a landscape picture with just like this guy in a spacesuit on the floor.
Oh, that lying down one?
Yeah.
Well, what was that then?
I don't know.
I saw it being auctioned and I saw how expensive it was, when it finally sold for the hammer price, which would have been plus 25%. Yeah, it didn't thrill me though. But what was there that was meaty? There was the Vader.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Vader? So it was a tour suit. Apparently, according to a friend who's in the know, he was telling me that the helmet had been really sort of sanded back and didn't really have any of the features that we've come to know from the screen A&H one, even though it was from that same mould. So, but I mean, I thought it was, the helmet was nice, and it's nice that it was matched to that poster.
It was a tour suit at the end of the day, and it went for a hell of a lot.
It did go for a good price.
I think if it was a screen used one, you could probably double that.
Well, probably you'd treble it then.
Yeah. Surprised you didn't go for the Planet of the Apes rifle.
You know what? I was on the toilet.
Jesus.
I was on the toilet. I had my little AirPods in.
Yeah.
And my Mac was downstairs. And I was listening to it. And then it came on and I was like, too late. So next up, that TK helmet.
Nice piece.
I thought it would have gone for a lot more.
It was complete, which is seems to be a rarity. It had the ears and everything. Ears, mic tips, lens.
Oh man, have you seen how the ears are fixed on that helmet?
No.
I did save all the photographs because I think I might need to do a replica of it with one of the HDPE helmets.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way the ears are fixed, brilliant.
I don't think they screen matched this one though, did they?
No. When was the last one sold by Prop Store? Was that somebody else?
Yeah. No, that was Prop Store.
That was Prop Store.
They screen matched it, and it was that one that was used.
Like shit in a field, isn't it? Every auction, there's one. Every auction, they roll another one out.
When they turn up, but they're not that many. But that's what mine was like.
Yeah.
It was damaged all across the top like that, where it's obviously been put down, and then round where the tube stripes are, the bottom end of the tube stripes, it was all cracked there and it was all flaking off. The main reason why I stripped mine.
If you could go back in time, would you still strip it? Knowing how bad the original paint was, or would you leave it on? Because I mean, if you'd have left it on, there's no way we'd have been able to take a copy because it would have destroyed it anyway.
I think I'd have just taken my chances more. I mean, I knew it was coming off anyway, and obviously I had to take the rivets out to be able to get it into the two halves to cast. So I think I would I would have, instead of stripping it completely, I'd have, probably have just left it, but still cast it. And, you know, whatever paint was left on it at the end of that.
That was
then,
something special, being able to make moulds of that helmet.
Yeah.
Obviously the armour, but especially the helmet.
I don't think it would changed. I think that we'd have still made the moulds from it. A little more paint may have come off, but just not as.
I know a lot of people, one of them being me included, was happy that did get done, because it broke down a lot of the walls to people who couldn't get these helmets, and certainly couldn't get in the way. That moulding that allowed the replicas to be made.
Well, as well, I think in hindsight, with, you know, if you say, well, if I should have really left the paint on, because then we could have better colour matched the greys and the blues, you know. But, you know, in hindsight, you can do a lot of things.
Interesting to see the Y-wing helmet in the auction.
Didn't sell?
Didn't sell in the California sale, didn't sell the year before in the UK, in the London sale either.
Neither did the Scout armour.
Well, what there is of it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess, really, that, isn't it? Yeah. Didn't sell again, so maybe that's telling them something about the estimate, and not quite as special as maybe they thought.
I mean, it was a shame on that B-wing. We got outbid on that.
Yeah, so the B-wing, we were bidding on that one. Not the one with the painted visor, the other one. And well, let's talk about both the B-wings. The price was went a lot higher than I was expecting on those.
Yeah.
A lot higher, almost double the estimate. When it comes to these auctions, there's always, when we look through them, there's always one piece in there that stands out.
Yeah.
As that's what we want. That's the one we want. And then there's other pieces, bits and pieces, which would be nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There's always
like the target one, and that has an influence on the way we bid, because of the budget we're working with. We're not willing to overbid on a lot that's before the one that we want, are we? We can't.
Well, we've missed out on items doing that before.
We've got to be more realistic, haven't we? Because we need to save it back. And the Bausch one last year, that we got that for a lot less than we thought it was potentially going to, get to.
I mean, sometimes a lot of these, with the prop store auctions especially, I imagine it's a lot of collectors. It's not prop makers like us. There may be the odd one or two, but I don't think there's anyone.
No, it's people with real money in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, the bottom end of the estimate sometimes for us is a struggle, but we do what we can to try and, if anything, bring these to the community.
Well, it's a collective thing, isn't it? It's only because the community gives us a little bit of purchase power, if you like.
Yeah.
Because we know that there are people out there that are going to back us. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking at that thing, and we're going through it, and we're thinking, God, that would be good, because I want that helmet.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? It's just, we're looking at it thinking, nobody's ever done a screen one of them.
Yeah.
I'd like one of them.
Yeah,
that's the motivation. We want.
Oh, definitely.
We want that helmet.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've got, a couple of hundred, if not more, people out there who also want that helmet, that have stood behind us.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a community, and we can do it all together. That's good. That's the most exciting thing about this for me.
Well, that's what keeps us going.
The weird thing on the auction is always, because that lower price, that lower estimate, the lower figure on the estimate is essentially the reserve. I always find it weird how when they get to the lot, it comes up as being 500, 1,000, just below that. So in effect, almost the first bid takes you to that threshold, and there was loads of stuff that didn't get there. So there was enough people, seemingly, I think I'm supposed to believe, I don't know, I've got my tinfoil hat out here, but there seemed to be enough people wanting to bid to just underneath the lower end of it. To be honest, we were really ill prepared for this, weren't we? Because we've been that busy with other things.
Yeah.
It was on the morning of the second day, really. Now
it was whether or not we were going to go for it.
Who were very helpful and made sure that we were all registered up and everything.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and I think that's only possible because we have bought stuff previously, and they were hoping we'd buy something again, which we did.
Yeah.
I mean, every year there's something of interest, isn't there? Well, there has been. So
there has been, yeah.
Touch wood, hopefully there'll be something.
I thought
Let's make a wish list. Oh, hang on, before we do that, let's talk about the Boba Fett helmet. So it was interesting, and because it's Boba Fett, you've got the Star Wars premium on it, then you've got the Boba Fett premium on top of that, and that was a hefty price for 2 halves of plastic.
But look at the last auction with the shoulder bells. Boba Fett's premium. That's it. A premium on top of the Star Wars premium, if anything.
Yeah, you can't be a Boba Fett collector and not pay for your stuff. So that's it, really, isn't it? I think that's all we've got to talk about.
That's all we've got time for.
We're on a road trip, as you can gather, which will be coming up as soon as we can share it.
Next year.
And, we didn't talk about what we actually got at the auction. Do you want to mention it?
No, I'll let you do that.
Well, I don't know, I've been talking all day. Do you want to mention it? Do we need to mention it? Or do we leave it as a surprise?
I think we leave it as a surprise.
What do you think, Larky?
Yeah.
Yes, we mention it, or yes, we leave it as a surprise. So, I tell you what, let's leave it as a surprise because the clerk was concerned that we were talking about too many new projects, weren't you? And there's one other thing while we're talking about auctions. Let's talk a little bit about how we feel about the Y-Wing auction on eBay.
I think it's good. I think if someone wants a product that much, I think it's good that it goes for that.
The reason why it's only ever going to be 100 is because, one, it's a bit of a weird helmet. It's a Marmite one. It's not a TK. It's something a little bit different. Two, there's a hell of a lot of work involved in it. A hell of a lot. And three, because we were talking about how our helmets don't go up in value the way that they should do for the work that goes into them, and that was what this helmet was about. I didn't think we would be proven right before we've even got more than
even finished the run.
30 of them out there. But clearly it is. It's good that people are taking on board that it is strictly limited to 100. We've got other projects that I want to do before it's time to not do this anymore.
Yeah.
So we can't. Unfortunately, we can't really do it like that.
Now, we've just talked about Prop Store auctions.
So let's continue on our journey, and thanks for watching this time, and until next time,